It's preparing.
Okay. Should be.
It's on. Hello, everyone. Good afternoon and welcome to Trail Talk. I'm so glad you could join us today. We are here live at the Chisholm Trail Heritage Center, and we are in our classroom studio where we have been doing this a lot lately. We used to have some other places around, Billy, that we would do, but I don't know, for some reason we've been coming in here. Anyway, I'm sure you guys recognize the wall behind me. It's not very exciting, but I have a very exciting guest here today. This is Billie Strutton. Welcome to Trail Talk, Billie.
Thank you, Edie.
Billie is the new executive director of Main Street Duncan. You guys that might ring a bell. We had Destiny Allfinger. The previous executive director was our guest last summer, and she has moved on to other things. And so Billie has taken over the position. So she's going to tell us about Main Street Duncan and all the things going on there. But first, I think we should get to know Billie a little bit. What do you guys think? So personally, Billie, I think that we were talking a while ago, roughly 08, 09 with the 3D Youth Coalition. The old Dream Duncan's Destiny. I don't know if that's ringing a bell with you guys or not, but that was such a cool, I don't know, I'm going to call it a movement kind of thing that we had going in town for a little while. A lot of people bought into it and
Got on board and supported it, and it was really good.
but it fizzled out. It fizzled out. And the youth part, that was really about the only part that I had any dealings with, just because of the kids. But I mean, organized events and they got laptops.
Yeah.
There was a donation and every one of the members got a laptop. I mean, they weren't brand new, but it was so great. My boys were probably 14 years old, maybe 15, and they were getting these laptops. They had to do community service. There was a volunteer aspect of it. I mean, I felt like it was like grooming these teenagers to be a productive citizen in their community. And I was kind of sad when it fizzled.
It was a really good time, and I don't know, the events were fun. And
They were. It was just a really great thing. So anyway, 3D Youth Coalition, we miss you. This mom thought it was a great thing. But I have a feeling you lived in Duncan before that.
Yeah.
So tell me, Billie, are you from Duncan originally?
I'm from the Duncan area.
Okay.
Yeah, I grew up, I went to Grandview first.
Oh,
So
okay.
I grew up out in that area, and then we moved to Duncan, and I attended Plato School and then Duncan Middle School, and I actually graduated from Empire.
Oh,
We won't say what year.
Okay,
Yeah,
right. We don't share
because
that
I am
kind of
from
stuff.
Duncan.
Yeah.
Duncan area.
Okay, and so did you stay here in Duncan, or did you leave for a while and
I
come back?
left for about 9 years, and then we moved back. All of my family's here. And
Okay.
So my parents still live here. My sisters, my daughter's here. My son's up in Yukon, and then I have a son in Chickasha. And so, but yeah, everybody's from around this area, so want to go back home.
Right, good place to come back. So when you came back, I mean, I have, in the years that I've known you, you've been, you had your own insurance agency. I mean, you recently graduated
Cameron
from
University,
Cameron
yeah.
University with an accounting
Yes,
degree, I
ma'am.
believe. We work out together,
Yeah.
body pump. My people around here know I'll do something, I'll go body pump. And you've been a community volunteer for so many things, not just 3D
Yeah.
Youth Coalition, not, all of that. So when you came back, was that kind of a mission that you wanted to devote yourself to the community, or how did it come about that you became that person in Duncan?
Right. So, what happened was I got into the insurance industry when I got back, and I started out front desk. I didn't have my license, nothing. And I got my insurance license, and then I became an office manager for the agency that I was working with. And then Farmers gave me the opportunity to become an agency owner. And so that was in 2005. So when I became an agency owner, then I had some freedom, to get involved. And so I wanted to get involved in the community because I was a business owner. And then you start supporting the community because, people start coming and telling you about the different things going on and, wanting you to give support. And so I got to find out about all these different organizations that we had in the community.
Right.
So that kind of started it. It was really the Chamber of Commerce. Once I joined the chamber and I became an ambassador, then, then I kind of got hooked.
Right.
So then it's just, and then I was in Leadership Duncan, and you just, my gosh, Leadership Duncan, you learn so much about our community, and it's like you just want to be involved. I mean, you get exposed to so many different areas of our community, and I don't know, for me, I was just like, every time something came up, they were like, would you be interested in that? I'm like, yeah, I want to do that, there's just, that's kind of what happened is I got to finding out what was in our community, and it just made me want to be more and more involved. So.
It's interesting, isn't it, that you can live in a community the size of Duncan, which is not gigantic.
Right.
And all of these, we have these facilities, and we have these events, and we have these organizations and all this stuff. And sometimes it's easy to just sit back and just appreciate all of it so much that you forget that somebody's behind the scenes doing all the work for it,
Right.
And I mean, I love it whenever someone has that opportunity to just kind of have that aha moment and just think, oh my goodness, well, why don't I get behind some of the scenes of all of this, making these things happen and do my part for the community?
We have so many community-minded people. I mean, it's just, and that's the one thing I loved about volunteering is the people that you meet. I mean, there's just so many people that want to make Duncan better, and they just work really hard, and you see them everywhere, like you just over and over again. And then I think with Leadership Duncan, that you bring in this new group and they get to learn, and so then some of them start getting involved, and so I don't know, it's really, I love being involved in the community.
Right, I do too. Leadership Duncan was a turning point for me too. I had volunteered, but it was more in my little world, like with the school or 3D when my kids were a part of it. It was that kind of that role that I was a volunteer for all of those kinds of things, but I loved Leadership Duncan really opening my eyes to the needs in the community and now having a chance to kind of play a role like that. So how did you go from owning your insurance agency to Main Street Duncan?
Well, I graduated last year from Cameron, like I said, with an accounting degree. About 5 years ago, maybe 6 now, I lose track of time, but I started thinking, maybe I don't want to retire in insurance. Originally that was the plan, and I just, I don't know, I guess you just get older and you start having different interests, and I always wanted to go to college. And so because I didn't go to college, I went right into the workforce. And so I enrolled in Cameron, and to give Cameron University a plug, I got my entire degree out of the Duncan campus. My entire accounting degree. I did not go to Lawton for one class because they have ITV. And so I could go to the Duncan campus, and we could see the professor in Lawton teaching the class, and we interacted. And so I was able to get my entire degree here, which is why I was able to do it and run a business at the same time.
Exactly.
I mean, it was great. And it just, I love the program that they have, and that, gives you the opportunity to, if you are working, you can still get your degree.
Yes. My husband got his degree after we got married, but it was way before any of that technology was available. And I mean, he would go to work, drive to Cameron, come back, because he still had to do 40 hours a week. I mean, our time together was very limited, I mean, you really have to make a huge time sacrifice. I'm sure you sacrificed some, but man, that is so fantastic. Yeah. Way to go, Cameron.
Yes. So I decided I would go to college. I didn't know exactly at that point. I didn't know if I was going to stay in insurance or not. I just, I just thought I would go to school. And originally I was going to do just a business degree, because I was like, well, I ran a business for 10 years. It just makes sense. I'll get the degree to back my experience, was kind of the mindset. But once I got into accounting, I don't know, I really like the challenge of accounting. you know, and so once I got into my accounting classes, I switched my major to accounting and finished up an accounting degree. And then as soon as I graduated, I had people reaching out to me about, are you looking for an accounting position? So anyone who doesn't, not sure what they want to go to school for, go for accounting because there's a lot of opportunity out there.
Job offers right
Yeah.
off the bat.
Yeah, so right off the bat, I had interviews and I was given a job offer within a few weeks. And so I had someone interested in my business at that point, and so I kind of started doing both because, I mean, that's kind of what I've been doing. You know, I went to school year round and ran my business, and then I started a new accounting job and I ran my business. And so my husband says I can't sit still. I don't know what he's talking about. So then it worked out where I could sell my business to Yolanda DeCarlo. She took over in October. And then I guess Destiny resigned. Right before Christmas, I think is when she actually put in her resignation. And so the board, you know, the time they met in January, they were kind of running out of time, you know, to fill that position. And so they were like, well, we just need to get somebody in there, you know, like as an interim, just to keep us going until we can find a permanent director. Well, some of the board members had heard that I had sold my agency, but they hadn't heard, you know, that I was in accounting. But so my name got brought up. They were just like, well, what's Billie doing now? And Janice Shornick is the board president, and we've served on several boards together and done things and been friends for a long time. And so she invited me over for coffee one day, and she was talking about it, and I was like, well, I'm doing accounting, but I was like, I would love to do that because I all of a sudden realized that of all the areas I'd been involved in the community, Main Street wasn't one of them. And I was like, why is that? You know, so I was really excited to do it because I wanted to be able to experience that. And I thought, what a great opportunity to be on the other side of it because I've always served on boards. You know, I've never been an executive director. So I thought originally, I just thought, well, this will give me a great opportunity to learn about executive director roles and what they go through. It's going to make me a better board member. You know, it's going to get me involved in Main Street. So I was like, this is just a win all the way around.
Right.
Well, then, of course, once I got into it, I didn't really want to give it up, you know, so I was kind of hooked. So down there, they voted me as their permanent director May 1st.
For the May 1st.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, how does this role different for you? You know, I mean, you've been your own boss, you're kind of your own business owner. You just had a very short time of working, you know, for someone else again. And then now you work for a board. So how are those different?
You know, the Main Street board they're amazing. They're very supportive, you know, they're open to ideas. I have some really, really good board members, you know, and they are just the skills that they bring, you know, their skill set they bring to the board is just, I don't know, it's just a great board. I mean, and I'm not like intimidated by my board, you know, I just feel like they're working with me to accomplish the goals of Main Street, you know, so we're working together. And like I said, they were things that I'm weak in, you know, they're filling the gaps. And then, you know, I don't know, they're very supportive. So
because you don't have like other employees.
I'm pretty much it. Now with Miss Betty, she's been there a really long time. She answers the phone a couple days a week for a few hours, but yeah, I'm pretty much it. So I depend heavily on volunteers. We need a lot of volunteers to accomplish the mission at Main Street.
Well, I saw that you had some kind of put out information that you were needing volunteers. And that's what made me think about inviting you to come on Trail Talk, because I thought, you know, any organization that relies heavily on volunteers needs as many ways to get the word out as possible.
Appreciate that.
Yeah. So first of all, just for the viewers, it maybe someone's watching who didn't see when Destiny was on before. Describe what is Main Street Duncan? Like, you know, what are we talking about? What, from where to where and all that?
So like the bound,
yeah.
Okay. Okay, so right now it goes from 7th Street to 10th Street.
Okay.
on Main
Mhm.
and Walnut, in that little area right there. That's considered like the Main Street,
Mhm.
and the Main Street program. So
Okay.
just those few blocks.
Was it something about like the area with the sidewalks or something, or I can't remember. It seemed like she had said something, but, okay, just from 7th to 10th, and then Main and Walnut.
Mhm. And we're looking at expanding that. That's something that, as the board's kind of looking into, because there's some requirements to expanding your boundaries, but that's something that we're looking at, maybe to include Willow and some other streets.
Oh,
And
okay,
so-
okay, so, Main Street Duncan is a nonprofit,
Mhm.
501c3, okay? And, so when you talk about, there are probably stipulations within some of the things that you have to do for that, as being, for being a nonprofit. Do
Like our
those-
meetings and stuff?
Well, yeah, I mean, what does that dictate?
Well, I mean,
for
so
you?
we're supported by donations and sponsorships. I mean, is where we get our funds from. And the city of Duncan is one of our biggest supporters.
Ah.
And so, but yeah, each year we have people that partner with us to support our program and the things that we're trying to accomplish. So that's how we get things done. So-
Do you guys have like a membership drive?
Yeah, we're gearing
or-
up for that. Yeah,
Okay.
actually, good timing.
Uh-huh.
Good plug there, Edie.
Okay.
She's just right on it.
So how does your membership drive work?
I mean, really, it's just what I said. We need people to come on board with us to support so that we can accomplish the things we're trying to accomplish. You know, we're all about revitalization of the downtown area. And the Main Street approach is like 4 different points. And so one of them is economic vitality. So that is, and that's a committee, if you want to volunteer for that. So that committee focuses on supporting existing businesses that are there and then trying to bring new businesses down. So we have buildings that are empty for sale, some are just for lease. So, trying to bring people down to Main Street. And then, like I said, supporting the ones that are already there.
Like the Ginger Jar, that's a pretty new move from out at Elk Plaza to Main Street, and their storefront looks beautiful there on Main Street too.
Yes,
It looks
Ginger
great.
Jar. And then we have, the McNairs purchased the Perkins building and they're working on remodeling it and
Oh.
putting businesses in that.
Okay, very nice.
Tanner Klein purchased the Chamber building, the old Chamber of Commerce building. And he's been
Okay.
putting a lot of, he's been remodeling it and putting a lot of work into it. And so yeah, we have new businesses coming in and we still have room for others, But
Right.
that's kind of what the that point focuses on is the economic vitality. And that's a committee and they meet once a month and, that they try to identify, areas that, like I said, if we have a vacant building, who we might could put in there and just, that's kind of the focus for them. And then we have a design committee that focuses pretty much on beautification, for downtown. And then we have.
Wait, so are they the ones who kind of partnered with Thinkability for
Yes.
the beautiful pots? We were downtown, I think it was Saturday. Yeah, it was Saturday. And I was pointing out to my husband, these are the
Thinkability has a
Thinkability.
program with it.
Yeah, and they make Main Street look great.
Yes, so the design committee, that's what they're all about.
Ah,
so
very
kind of-
nice.
yeah.
It does, and it looks good. It
Mhm.
really is appealing to the eye.
Yeah,
Yeah.
oh, good. Then we have the promotions committee and that one's the one with the events, so we
Okay.
have events that are, geared towards just overall quality of life. We have car shows, we have the wine festivals coming up, we have the Boo Review, we have parades, so we just do different events and that committee kind of focuses on those different events throughout the year. And then the last one we have is organization, and that's kind of what you would think, it works on getting new board members and, volunteers. And so it kind of does focuses on Main Street organization itself. And so, but all of those are committees that you can be a part of.
So about how many volunteers then with those 4 committees, how many volunteers do you actually have?
Oh, gosh. So some of them are just kind of gearing up because you have to remember I'm new.
Right,
yeah. I mean, the car show committee is pretty big because it takes a lot to volunteers to pull that off, especially the day of. The
Right.
day of is a big deal for it. I don't know if I could put a number to that.
Okay,
amount of
so
volunteers that
like
we-
the events committee has committees for
Promotions.
each, or promotions. They have for each of their events,
Mhm.
they have another group of people that does that.
Yeah, and some of them will overlap,
Okay,
but
right.
you may have some people that want to be part of the wine festival,
Mhm.
and then you may have some that want to just be part of the car show, so it's, we have different, though, that one does split out to other ones. And so, but yeah, there are so many opportunities to get involved.
And do those events, are they kind of fundraisers or are they just for?
We have both.
You have, okay.
Yeah, we have both. We have ones that just, we want to bring people downtown, and
yeah.
of course, we have a lot of small businesses downtown, and we want people to come down and see what businesses we have and to
Mhm.
shop downtown. And then some of them are for entertainment, some are for fundraising, they kind of meet all different needs. And
Mhm.
so,
Yeah.
I mean, really, Main Street is about community. I mean, that's really what Main Street is all about. And so we just have all these different areas that we work on bringing in community. And
Yeah.
so, yeah, it's kind of, I mean, the revitalization, of course, of downtown, but it's about people,
Right.
and so,
Right.
so that's what we're kind of all about.
Yeah. So, and some of these events have been going on for a while.
Mhm.
And so when, like you said, you are new.
Mhm.
Do you have ideas for new things? I think you told me probably when you took over this role, even as interim, the events for the year had already been
Mhm.
planned
Right.
because, I mean, that is a well-oiled machine that plans things out a
Right.
full year in advance,
Right.
And so, are there some new things that you're thinking about or
Oh gosh, I have
ways
so
that
many
you want to
ideas. I have
do?
so many new ideas, and need a lot of volunteers.
Yeah.
So I just went to training last week in Tahlequah with Main Street, Oklahoma.
Oh,
And,
okay. I was going to ask you if you're part of another,
Yeah,
a
so
bigger organization.
Main Street,
for that.
Oklahoma.
Uh-huh.
And so while I was there, they were talking, and I would just start thinking of, oh, well, we could do this and we could do that. And then I'm like, oh, you're gonna pay attention. You know what I mean? Because in my mind, it's like chasing rabbits over here of what we could do. And but yeah, I got a lot of new ideas. Got to get them down on paper.
Right. That's what I was just thinking. You better be writing those down.
I did start finally writing them down just because I was trying to pay attention instead of just being off in la la land thinking about all the things we could do. But yeah, I'll be working closely with the board, and of course we want community input, what our community wants to see and do,
Right.
and so we just want to all work together. Like I said, it's about all of us, and so, but I do have some ideas. We're kicking off a patriotic themed window display contest.
Oh, that's fun.
So the downtown businesses, they want to participate, they'll just decorate their windows, and on the 25th, gosh, I'm gonna go a couple of different routes here. The 25th, we have Team Up to Clean Up. So we're all gonna be downtown, and just remind me to expand on that, but
Right.
we're gonna kick it off that day for people to start voting on which window display they like the best. And then whichever business wins, we're gonna have a traveling trophy,
Oh,
and
that's
so
fun.
it's just gonna be fun, and it'll make, I think it'll make Main Street look so nice, to have everybody patriotic
Oh,
theme.
right.
And then, we just want everyone to go downtown and check out the displays and vote on their favorite one. And then I think we're gonna wrap that up around July 6th and announce the winner. So,
Mhm.
but we're kicking off the 25th, which is the day for Team Up to Clean Up.
Okay, so, the 25th then is, what day is that?
Saturday morning from 9 to 11.
Okay,
And it's, it's just anyone who wants to volunteer. You don't have to register. You can just show up that morning to we're going to kind of meet around the Main Street office, and we'll just what it sounds like, we're going to clean up the area. I mean, some of it, the obvious, trash and weeds and, just whatever we can see that needs attention, needs
Right.
TLC.
Right.
And so we'll just be focused on that for about 2 hours on that morning. So, yeah, and anyone can come down, and you don't have to stay the whole time either,
well, that sounds, and it's not like you're trying to cover half the town. I mean,
Mhm.
it's a fairly small area, and Main Street is somewhat clean
Mhm.
anyway,
Yeah, the business owners, they do a pretty good job.
they do. So, yeah, that seems like that would be a pretty easy thing. That'd be a great thing for a family to be able to go do.
Oh, yeah.
Take your kids along and
Have
just,
breakfast at Boomerang before.
yeah, exactly. And just introduce them to the whole idea of doing a little work like that for your community.
Mhm.
That's a great thing. So team up to clean up on the 25th. And so so I guess the businesses that are participating are probably already planning
on the
on their window.
Yeah, so I was
displays.
I thought I was kind of behind the game on this because like I said, I had all these ideas start popping in my mind last week. And so I thought, oh no, do we have time? And I started walking around downtown and talking to the different businesses, and they're all like, oh yeah, we got a week. I'm like, well, I'm glad you are creative because I would need a month. I feel like, let me think on this and come up with an idea. But most of them were just so on board and, excited to be a part of it. So I'm looking forward to seeing what they come up with.
If you think about it, a lot of those businesses have very eye-catching window displays.
It's going to be tough, I think.
So yeah. Throwing down the gauntlet here. That's going to be a competition. That's fun.
Yeah, it's going to be fun. So, yeah, that'll kick off that day. Like I said, the team up to cleanup day. So,
and then, so what comes up after that is the next big thing, the wine on the Chisholm Trail.
Yes, the wine on the Chisholm Trail. That's September 9th and 10th. And we actually start, our first meeting for that is today.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, right after this. 4 o'clock, actually. Yeah, 4 o'clock. Still.
Yeah, we got to stay on. I forgot. We have to get her out of here at a certain time. And so, who is
Diana Anderson is the chairman.
Diana
Tara Harper is actually the board member that's over the promotions, and then Diana's going to be the chairman for the wine fest or the wine.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then we have, like I said, it's our very first meeting, so it's plenty of time to get involved and be a part of that. It's a very fun event, and everybody has a pretty good time.
And it's kind of a Friday evening, Saturday.
Yeah, and this is my first time to plan for it, so I don't know a lot about the planning phase of it yet, but we're just starting that today so we can learn together.
Yeah.
If you want to come out today at 4 or catch the next meeting, we'll, a lot of people message me on Facebook Messenger, and I usually watch that pretty closely, and so they'll ask for information, and I can send it to them and let them know when we're going to meet and stuff.
So what is your Facebook page? Just Main Street Duncan?
Yeah.
Okay, we'll put that in the comments for this. And then are there some car shows still going to happen?
So there was only 2 car cruises and 1 car show on the listed for this year. So we thought about doing some more, and then gas and all the different things. I'm not even sure.
Yeah, that's true.
So I'm not sure if we're going to continue to do that. Clint Adams was the chairman for the car show, and he did a great job. And I just got to touch base with Clint and see what we want to do with that.
Right. I mean, I have been there where they just park.
Yeah, and a lot of times they do park. They do.
And you can walk around. That's like my husband's favorite. He loves to walk around and look at people's cars, And
so in all honesty, the car cruise in March was my first one. I've never gone, and I had so much fun. I mean, just walking up and down and talking to people, and it was a beautiful evening, and so many nice cars.
Yeah.
And so it was a lot of fun, actually. Just being around people, and just being, like I said, it's all, I keep going back to this about community, but it is.
It really is.
It really is.
And just meeting people, I mean, we don't have a car. We're not part of that community, sub-community in town, but it's always so fun to go and meet people and
listen about what they've done to the car, and I mean,
Yes.
they love to talk about their cars, of course. And so, but the things that they, where they started with it and what it looks like now, and just, I mean, it's amazing, but they're fun. They really are.
And so after the wine in the Chisholm Trail, are we at Boo Review? Oh, boy.
Yeah. Review is a big deal.
That is a huge,
So
event.
many kids.
Yeah.
It's so much fun.
Yeah.
All the little costumes, and I mean, I haven't volunteered with it, but I've taken my grandsons down there, and it's a fun day too. They get so excited.
So anything in November?
I'm not sure when the Veterans Day parade.
Oh yeah,
I think
probably. It would be
I believe
November
it's
11th is
yeah,
Veterans Day, so
somewhere in there.
on that Saturday probably.
And we'll
closest
kick
to
off the
that.
holiday stroll.
So I didn't realize that Main Street Duncan hosts the Veterans Day Parade?
So I think the veterans, and forgive me for being new again, I
Oh,
think
okay.
they actually do it, but
Uh-huh.
we're there, but that's actually
Right.
them putting it on.
Because it's,
Yeah,
it's around
it's my
that
understanding,
area,
so.
yeah. And then, the what'd you call
Holiday
it?
stroll.
The holiday stroll.
That's a big event for Main
Oh.
Street. That is so much fun. If you've never been to the holiday stroll, you're missing out.
Oh,
I mean,
I agree.
it is just, the whole atmosphere of that
Mhm.
event is just amazing. And Santa's always there.
Santa!
And there's cookies and there's
Yes.
hot chocolate. And, oh,
Yes.
it's a fun time.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a very fun time. And
Yeah.
all the stores are open and for shopping, and it's a really.
And then
good
the
time.
Christmas parade
Christmas
there,
parade.
what's usually like, the first Saturday
Yeah, I
of
believe so.
December or
Mhm.
something like
Somewhere in
that.
area. Mhm.
And then boom, we're at the end of the year already.
Starting over again.
Wow, yeah, for real. So,
Yeah.
what's not to like about that job, Billie?
Oh, I know. I know. It is. I don't know. I love being a part of the community. I just love I guess I love being on the team.
Right, right.
And like I said, there's just the people that I've met, from being involved in the
Mhm.
community is just, they're just amazing people. And it's just, I don't know, it's fun.
Do you know how long Main Street Duncan has been like an organization? Since 86 in Duncan.
Mhm.
Huh,
So,
wow.
a few years.
Yeah, it's been around for a while. And so like the Main Street Oklahoma organization, is that like, do you belong to that organization? Like, do you have to,
Almost like a partnership,
okay.
like
okay,
so when we're part of, they have some guidelines to me, with them, they have
Okay,
certain
that's-
trainings
uh-huh.
and things like that.
Mhm.
But then they provide resources for us. And so we have a liaison and, they can come down and do workshops for our businesses on Main Street. Like say we want to bring them down to do a window display workshop to kind of work with the merchants on how to set up a good window display. And they just, like I said, they provide resources. And then the 4-point approach, those different committees, that comes from, well, there's Main Street America also, but that all comes down through them.
Okay.
And so they give us a lot of support on those 4 points,
Uh-huh.
on those committees we break out on and what we can do with those points and how those
Right.
points help revitalize downtown. And so
Right.
that's kind
And
of what it's
so-
all about.
Does that organization, Oklahoma has super tiny towns and then, towns the size of Duncan, like, I can't imagine that a Main Street organization would be successful in like in Oklahoma City.
Right.
That's the Main Street in Oklahoma City is not really much of a thing, it's just too spread out. But, do they help like tiny little towns? And then,
Yeah, they
you
have
know-
like 3 different, and I'm just learning about them as well, but they have
Right.
like 3 different levels. So you have like towns that are like 5,000 population and less.
okay.
And then you have the
okay.
towns like we're in that goes between the 5,000 and the 50. And then
Uh-huh.
they have one for over 50,000 population. So they have different levels. And like I said, I'm still learning a lot about how we work with the Main Street Oklahoma.
Right.
So they're, that training, they hosted that training and, they're just so enthusiastic. And they have all these ideas. So it's fun, it was a good
Right.
time. And we have trainings throughout the year with them. I have another one in August in Yukon. So
Very good.
yeah.
Which I bet you're like, yes. Tell me
yes.
more, tell me more. I really need, trying to take it all in. So
Yeah,
that
and
you
in
can-
the networking, you get to meet other Main Street directors and they've been doing a long time and find out what events they're doing in their community and get ideas for ours, and so
Mhm.
it's really beneficial. I feel like that program is, just because of the connections as well, to find out what
Right.
other people are doing and bring it to our hometown.
Yeah,
So,
exactly.
yeah.
And they probably have good like fundraising ideas and
Yeah, they
things
have
like
all
that,
kinds
too.
of different ideas and like they just help with the whole process. I feel like the whole like helping you set up, like they do board training, if you want them to come down and work with your board. And they just offer all kinds of different services. And so they're through the Oklahoma Department of Commerce. And
Oh,
so,
okay.
Like we
All right.
find their way, they have a website also that you
Right,
can find out more information about them.
Yeah.
So, but they have a whole program guide and everything.
So if I was thinking, oh man, some of these things sound really great. I think I might want to volunteer,
Mhm.
but I'm not sure how much time that's going to require of me. How,
Oh, I mean,
what would
we,
you say? Well,
any amount of time that you have, I mean, you can help if you can only help one day, come to Team Up to Clean Up. If you want to serve on a committee that's, usually those are just a couple of months, especially the promotion committee, like if you get on that one, because like the wine, like I said, we're starting today to do the wining on the Chisholm Trail, and it's going to go through September. So you can just go to like 3 months,
Right.
and so, but yeah, there's all kinds of opportunities to
well,
be involved.
what about your board members? Is your board full, or is that something?
Yeah, right now, the board we have room for 2 more. We have like 9 to 11 board members, is what our bylaw says, and we have 9, so we don't need any, we don't have to have any, should I say, right now. So,
right.
but yeah, we're always, gonna need new board members, so, and it's good.
People roll off
Yes,
probably
yes.
every year.
And so the way to, you could come in under a committee maybe and get them, involved and get familiar. And then if you want to be a board member, then, we could look at that.
Right.
So yeah, there's tons of
Right.
opportunities.
And
to be
that's
involved.
smart too, it's a way to kind of vet people and find out what their interest level really is before you ask them to make the big commitment, which would be the board,
Right.
which is
And it's a
probably.
working board, my
Yeah.
board is when they work.
Yeah.
It's a working board for sure. They do it, they do a great job, but it's definitely, you need to be able to you need the time to be able to work on this if you're going to serve on this board. So it's not so much of a governing.
Right. But I mean, when you have that size of an area and that size of an organization and only one really full-time paid employee,
Mhm.
the board really has to
Mhm.
be able to do that.
Mhm.
So, well, that is awesome. So you had a few notes. Is there
I think we
anything
might have
else?
covered a lot of it. Let's see here. I think, hey, I did pretty good.
Oh, very nice.
I did pretty good. I mean, I don't have my glasses on, so.
Yeah. So she's
I think.
pretty
We're gonna
sure.
say it.
Yeah, she did everything. Well, be sure and keep us posted on all the cool new things that are coming out.
Okay.
That's exciting. Do you have a website?
Yeah,
as
our Main
well?
Street Duncan website, and
Uh-huh.
I think the link's on our Facebook page as well.
Okay.
And so I try to put a lot of things on the Facebook page, like as they're coming up.
Right.
And I try to share what the businesses are doing downtown as well on our site. So if you like our page, I'm trying to bring all their announcements underneath ours,
Yes.
and so,
Yes.
if you like my page, and you'll be able to see what other people are doing downtown as well.
Uh-huh.
So, and there's always something going on
Right.
on Main Street.
Right.
so.
There is, and Main Street has some great stores.
Mhm.
And like the guy who has the little furniture store.
Yeah, Richard Wright.
Yeah, I
Justice.
mean, he expanded.
Yes.
He
yes,
needed 2 storefronts.
Yes.
And I was so excited when I saw that the other day.
Mhm.
And I was just like, oh my gosh, this is so great for him.
Mhm.
And to see the Main Street thrive and kind of take off after such a rough time during COVID,
Yeah, and I think COVID really hurt our volunteer base. And
Oh,
so we
yeah.
really need people to come on board
Yeah.
and volunteer and work with us.
Well, I certainly hope some of you watching are a little bit inspired now to go check out Main Street Duncan. And you know what? I bet you've been to at least one of those events. I mean, Christmas parade, practically everyone in town shows up for the Christmas parade. Boo review, if you have
Holiday stroll,
so many
so-
people, the holiday stroll, but plus just all those fun things. I mean, anyway, be a part of it. Join up, team up to clean up on the 25th. That's a week from Saturday. And Billie, congratulations
Thank
on
you.
this new position. And thanks for joining us on Trail
Yeah,
Talk.
thank you for having me.
Yeah, very, very excited for you. Can't wait to see what happens with Main Street Duncan now. So when it's time to go, we always say happy trails.
Oh, okay.
So you ready?
I'm ready.
Okay, I'll see you guys next week. Happy
Happy
trails.
trails.